This is the Horse Radio Network. Good morning, everyone. This recording was done on the Wednesday before the 2021 HRN Roadshow, and it is being released on August the 2nd. And we are now on the road in Alabama. Helena from Stall and Stable Podcast interviewed Coach Jen and I about the roadshow. If you want to follow along as we discuss the trip map, go to HRN and click on the banner at the top of the page. That's HRNHorseRadioNetwork.com and click on the banner at the top of the page for the roadshow. We had a bit of a nerve-wracking week leading up to this as we prepared to leave. We found out that we had been exposed to COVID from someone who was vaccinated but sick and got tested positive. Then I got sick on Wednesday and Thursday, and we were supposed to leave on this past Saturday. So we went and got tested and took the home tests and found out on Friday morning that both were negative. So we had double tests, double negatives. Unfortunately, that put our departure back a day, which meant we left on Sunday morning, yesterday, and both meetups in Alabama had to be canceled. We're sorry about that for all of our Alabama people, but we had to be sure that we weren't sick and getting everybody else sick. If we had been positive, then that would have been a nightmare, and we were sweating it last week, let me tell you. So with all of that behind us, we rolled out yesterday. Our motto is it's going to be fun or a disaster or disastrously fun. We just didn't expect all of them before we left. So let's get to the interview right after this. Our sponsor for today's recording is Eagle Equine. You may have heard of their amazing MagnaGuard gastric support product. MagnaGuard helps prevent ulcers and other gastric issues, giving your horse the happy tummy he deserves. MagnaGuard helps calm horses in two ways. First, the magnesium in its natural calmer, and two, it keeps the gut feeling great, which allows the horses to relax. It contains important trace minerals, and it's all natural and can be fed continually without negative side effects. Customers report healthier, shinier coats, less colic, healthier hooves, and overall healthier horses. Discount code, we have one right now. Type in HRN and it gets you 15% your next order at eagleequine.com. HRN gets you 15% off your next order at eagleequine.com. All their products come with a money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, you can contact them for a full refund. 15% off your next order at eagleequine.com. And now let's get on with the show.
I am Helena Harris from the Stall and Stable Podcast, and this is a very special episode of Stable Scoop, Horse Tip Daily, and Horses in the Morning. Today, I'm going to interview my faves, Glenn the Geek and Coach Jen, and we're going to talk about the 2021 HRN Roadshow by Kentucky Performance Products. So
this might be, Helena, the first time Jennifer and I have been on video together ever. I don't know that we've ever done a live video together.
Other than a fleeting flyby. Yeah, I'm not usually on the video.
Yeah.
Maybe Christmas time, I don't know.
I don't think so.
That keeps a low profile. She keeps a low profile. That's how she rolls. So I know, the auditors may actually be more up to date than I am on this, but I know that there's a lot of people out there who want to know who's going. Okay, we got you and Jennifer, or who you're going to see, what's going to happen, when you're leaving. But most importantly, why? Why are you guys doing this? It's a big undertaking. So we want to know what your motivation is. And because Saturday, this coming Saturday?
Yeah, this Saturday.
For a 3,200 mile, 14 state, 13 listener meetup tour. And you're going to stay at listener farms along the way. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about this.
You want the why first?
Let's start with the details. Okay.
Right.
So I gave the high level overview. The what? It's a 3,200 mile trip. You're starting from Ocala. Yeah.
Yep.
And give me some of the highlight points where you'll be stopping along the way.
Well, let me put up the graphic. Why don't we do that right away? Oh. So for people who are listening, you can find this at horseradionetwork.com. Click on the Roadshow banner at the top of the page, and you'll see this graphic. So here we have the graphic of every place that we are going and the map of where we're going. Let me take that off. So you're going to see that we're starting in Alabama. We're going to be heading up to Tennessee and then into Kentucky, all the way up to Michigan.
That Kentucky to Michigan jump is going to be
that's a drive, apparently. Yeah, we already have listeners that are telling us how not to make that drive.
Oh gosh, whoever that was that sent us that, thank you.
Yes, apparently it can be a nightmare. And then we're heading over through Ohio, Pennsylvania, down to Maryland, and then all the way down the coast back to Florida. But it's a total of about 3,200 miles. And you can see there on the graphic that we have 13 different meetups. And they start this weekend. We're having 2 meetups in Alabama this weekend. And one of those is a trail ride, a group trail ride, which Jennifer is very excited about. So I'm going to take this back off. You can find that just by going to Horse Radio Network and clicking on the banner at the top of the page. So there you go. That's what it is. And, we're staying at Listener Farms. We think that this is the only time or first time that this has been done by podcasters of any kind. Podcasters have done tours before, but they always stay in hotels and they have their meetups at restaurants or, at hotels. This is the first time we think that anybody's ever stayed at their listeners' places. There might be a reason for that. We might find out. We might find out why, but I think we're going to be fine. Horse people are cool.
You've had this idea in the works for a very long time. I mean, years and years.
I think you and I talked about it 10 years ago.
Yes. It was a little, I couldn't go because Gracie was so little at the time. We were going to do it in the summertime, but then things just didn't work. But you've always wanted to do this. And I know Jennifer is very interested in seeing other people's farms. And so there's a natural curiosity about the places that you're visiting. And of course, Glenn, there's just a warmth that you have about connecting with our listeners. So what made you finally decide that this was the year to do it?
I got sick for about 3 months and had time to shop for an RV and then think about all of these things. And actually, that really was that. When I got sick and got sicker and sicker and sicker, I realized, hey, I'm not going to be here forever. And when the pandemic's over, it might be a good time to do this. And then we happened to get the RV at the time, and it just, all the pieces fell together.
Well, also, the technology that we use to create podcasts, which is how we make our living. That's how we pay our rent, making podcasts of all sorts. The technology has finally gotten to the point now that with the help of some subcontractors like Jemmy, yay Jemmy, we can do that while we're on the road. Whereas even 2 years ago, that would not have been possible. So we can continue to run our business while we're away. So that was a biggie because we can't just take, when you know how it is when you're self-employed, you can't just take time off, and your life is not your own, despite what the Disney movies tell you.
You can do a week. 5's tough.
Yeah. So that was one of the really big ones. And also, when the pandemic came around and the pandemic continued and continued and continued, it went on and on and on. Yes, Glenn was kind of part-time. He couldn't work full-time, so he had to do something with his brain, so he was shopping around. And you kind of embraced this whole RV thing, which was not something you would have embraced 5 years ago.
Why? Too close? Like too small
I hated
quarters?
camping. My family, we were campers, and we belonged to a camping club growing up. Now, we had a pop-up camper, It was 6 people in a pop-up camper. Yeah. And, we camped every weekend. And, I have fond memories of camping. But then Jennifer and I have had some bad experiences doing the tent thing. So I said I'm never going to do that again. And, our camper is not exactly roughing it.
But we have a proper camper now. Yeah. A proper camper with all of the modern conveniences, including air conditioning.
Thing. So, the evolution of the RV. Heck, people are turning school buses into luxury accommodations. So, I
think those two things kind of.
Yeah, they all everything came together at the right time.
Yeah. Stars aligned.
Yeah.
Okay.
And plus, we do have a desire to go out and meet our listeners. It's been, we've been doing this for 13 years now. You and I, we've been doing this for 13 years.
And everybody who is a fan of the Horse Radio Network podcasts, we have something, the most important part of our lives is what we have in common, our horses, right? Yeah. So why not? I want to get to know them. I want to meet them in person. I want them to show me around the barn and go, isn't this the most amazing matchy feed bucket and water bucket? I want to experience that because that's what gives me joy. So I want to do that with them.
Glenn is the one who's got geek in his name, but really it's Jennifer who's the barn geek.
She's the true horse geek. Yeah.
And that's why I know that she's excited about that part of it because we're like bottomless pits. The more information we can get about how people live their lives with their horses that feeds our soul. That's really what, and then you bring that back and you share it with others. What was your mission? Connecting the horse world. So, and also post-pandemic, I think a lot of us appreciate the ability or the opportunity to connect in person with others.
And we, it's so funny because of that. We had the sponsors, and thank God for our sponsors. We'll talk about them. They signed up immediately for this. In one day I had all the spots filled, but I told them, look, don't even pay the bill till we're about to leave because this could be canceled at any moment. We do now that you can't, and even with COVID and things that are going on now, we have checked with the places that we're stopping and the people and everybody's vaccinated and all of that. So we're being careful. It's not like we're being careless. And we're trying to be careful at the meetups, and most of them are outdoors and, that kind of thing. So we are keeping that in mind, and we knew that it could be canceled right up till today, that there was a chance that could happen.
Yeah.
And then we would just put it off for a year, we just postpone it.
If the country has to suddenly shut down and we're not allowed to cross state borders, I'm thinking, post-apocalypse movie right now. What state do we want to get stuck in?
Michigan. I think we're close to Canada that way. But they won't let us in either.
Canada won't let us in.
Rhonda's even here, and she says she's still stuck in Canada. She's watching right now.
Well,
Sorry,
it's 77
Rhonda.
degrees and breezy here in Rhode Island.
Oh, yeah? Okay, we can head to her way.
I noticed that is not on your map.
We have a lot of people, let's address that. We have a lot of people angry with us. Like, we have a lot of people in Wisconsin, and we wanted to get to Wisconsin. But what we found out is it's hard to get from Wisconsin back into Michigan again without going through Chicago. You can't do it. Yeah. And we really didn't want to go through Chicago. Plus, 5 weeks seems like a long time until you start planning a road trip and making stops for 3 or 4 days. We didn't want to be traveling every day.
Yeah.
So, we're trying to only travel every 3 days, which gives us a chance to actually live and enjoy a little.
Gives us a chance.
We couldn't even get to New England.
Gives us a chance to empty the tanks and do the laundry.
Yeah, those kind of things too.
It's funny how that can be soothing. Like, that's your downtime. You just have to fold laundry.
So if your meetup is on day 4 of our travel, we apologize in advance if we're looking a little scruffy.
Yeah, that's right.
Just go do your laundry in some of the listener houses.
It actually is
funny.
funny.
I'm home. Here's my laundry.
That was part of the poll. If we were staying at your farm, do you have a
washer machine we can use?
We don't care if it gets washed.
The one thing they don't have, Helene, is a dump station for the RV. So we have to actually plan those, and there's an app for that where you can find dump stations along your route.
Interesting.
Little things you don't think about till you go RVing, where there's no, we're not staying at campgrounds for the most part. So
boondocking, right? Isn't that what you call it? Boondocking?
Yeah, boondocking.
They actually call it, when you're staying with people, they call it mooch docking.
Oh.
Where you're mooching
There's
off
all
of other
kind
people.
of lingo in the
we're
RV
learning.
universe.
They probably have their own podcast network too.
Oh,
Yes.
There's a lot. We listen to some of them,
Yes.
the RV podcasters. I see that Marie's here and from Michigan, and we're doing a trail ride in Waterloo. We're actually staying at a horsey campground and going trail riding in Michigan, and she's providing a horse for Jennifer. So thank you, Marie, for that. We appreciate that.
So the first stop is going to be Alabama, and you're going to do a trail ride there. Jennifer, whose horses are you going to ride?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Whatever
Glenn,
horse they present, I'm putting my helmet on and off I go. I don't care.
Glenn, are you going to ride?
I brought my bike. I'm riding my
He's
bike.
riding.
Great.
I'm not riding my. Oh no. I want to stay alive on this trip. Thank you.
Jennifer's like, I got my helmet. I'm good to go.
Yeah,
I'm good to go.
I'm good to go.
Glenn bought a special bike just for this trip.
Yes, I did.
You did? Is it?
It is folding bike, so it fits in the truck.
Yeah.
But it's human powered. It's not electric.
It's human and electric. I got both.
Okay.
Yeah,
smart.
because
It's got the big.
I got to keep up with them.
I know, and it's cheaper than a horse these days.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, that's why I got. All right, another story. That's another episode. Okay, so the what is 3,200 miles. You're going to meet up with listeners, but you're going to stop along the way, places where you can do RV type things and maybe decompress a little bit.
And we have one stop that people can participate from home, that we're bringing it into their homes. So the road trip, you can, if you're nowhere near our meetups, you can participate, and that's going to be on August the 4th. We're doing a concert with Templeton Thompson. So it's for the benefit of Colby's Army, which Lisa Wysocki fills in on our shows as a co-host, and she runs Colby's Army, and that's a therapeutic riding center outside of Nashville. And of course, Lisa writes all the books, that everybody's familiar with. She's an author, but she also runs this really cool therapeutic riding center. And Colby was her son who died, and the center is in his honor. So this is also a fundraiser for Colby's Army. So we're doing the concert as a fundraiser. And we're doing the concert at a venue. It's going to be really cool. And people can come out live. If you're near Nashville and want to come join us for the concert live, you can. But we're also going to be Facebooking it live to all of our Facebook pages. So, and I think that Debbie's putting it up on Monty's page, and a couple the sponsors are putting it up. So you'll be able to participate in the concert from home. This will be one of Templeton's first concerts back live again. We haven't seen her in forever. Sam's going to be there, her husband. So we're very excited to be. And from what I hear, now Lisa knows people in Nashville. From what I hear, there might be some other songwriters coming up from Nashville for the concert. So
stay tuned.
She told Templeton she might have an opening act, and Templeton was like, wait a minute, I am the opening act.
Not the horse people. She's the star of the show.
She's the star. That's
right. And you all know her from Girls and Horses and a bunch of other horse songs. So I'm sure she'll be playing all your favorites that night. So you can participate from home.
We're going to put a link up, aren't we?
That's August 4th.
Isn't there going to be a link to people can find it?
Yeah, you can go to Horses in the Morning. There's a link right up there in the description, actually, above us in the description. Plus, go to horseradionetwork.com, click on the banner, and you can. There's a Facebook page or a Facebook event for that. You can say you want to go, and it'll remind you that you should join us that night. Next one's it's a week from tomorrow, so
that's terrible.
Jeez, it's July 27th already.
Yeah,
here comes the rain.
Yeah, and now we're getting torrential rain here in Ocala. So
there we go.
All right. So we've got Templeton on August 4th. There will be information in the links. All right. So we got all the stops. We got the trail rides. You got your bike. We got okay. So which of these states have you not been to before? Have you been to all of them?
That's a good question. Put the map up.
I got to put the map back up. That's a good question. I know that with some of them we haven't. We haven't been to Michigan before.
I've not been to Michigan, no.
I've been to Ohio.
Yeah.
I think we've been to all of these except Alabama, actually, and Michigan.
Okay.
We've probably driven through. No, we've not driven through Alabama.
I don't think we ever drove through Alabama.
We always went the East Coast route when we went up and down. So they're the two, Alabama and Michigan.
Yep.
And are we going to we're going to be driving through Indiana, but I don't think we're not
hitting Indiana. And there were a lot of people in Indiana mad at us too.
I'm sorry.
I know. Hey, you guys, I feel your pain.
Spoiler alert. This whole road trip thing is very likely to happen again in the future. So
yeah. Well, if we don't go out to the West Coast at some point, they're really going to be mad at us.
There will be a rebellion.
Yeah. And we're going to be doing a lot of video on this trip, and hopefully we're going to be posting videos along the way. Plus, at the end, we're getting a professional videographer to take it all and make a wrap-up video
Thanks,
for
Neil.
us. So Neil's going to put a professional video for us because you're going to want to see other people's horses and barns. And so we'll be doing Facebook Lives. We'll be posting videos of farms and the trail rides and all of that. So we'll be doing a lot more of that along the way than we obviously do at home.
So if someone happens to miss one of the Facebook Lives, they can find the recorded version in the auditor group, right?
Or we'll be putting these out on the Horse Radio Network Facebook page, Horses in the Morning Facebook page. So those are the two big Facebook pages that everything will go out on, Horse Radio Network and Horses in the Morning.
Okay, got it. Now there's a long stretch from North Carolina back down to Florida, or is it Virginia? North Carolina.
Yeah, we have our last stops in North Carolina, and then from there we'll be heading home. And we didn't plan anything there because we're going to be, after 5 weeks.
We're liable to be in separate vehicles by that time.
That's right. Jennifer might have flown home by that point.
Come pick me up in St. Augustine. Okay, so what else do we want to know? So we got the what, we got the when. Okay, you're leaving Saturday and you're returning.
Let's talk about this because I'm going to put a graphic up on the screen here. Without these people...
That's part of the who right there.
Yeah, without these people, we wouldn't be doing the trip, and that's our terrific sponsors. And, I'm going to talk a little bit about Kentucky Performance Products. They're our title sponsor. And as Helena knows, Karen was our first sponsor. And when we first started, she runs Kentucky Performance Products. When we first started this 12 years ago, she was our first sponsor. So
and nobody knows what a podcast is. Sure, I'm in.
Sure, I'll do it. Someday someday somebody will know what a podcast is. And we're going to be seeing her on the trip. We're going to be doing a show. We're still going to be doing Horses in the Morning from the road. We're going to be doing a show from Kentucky Performance Products from the warehouse. in Kentucky, and she helped us set up a couple of our stops. And she's going to be Jamie is coming in to Lexington. She's coming into Lexington for the meetups in Lexington the weekend of August the 7th. So if you want to see Jamie, she'll be there. That'll be the only weekend she's there. And we're going to be actually doing the show from Kentucky Performance Products. And Karen is her chauffeur and Uber driver. So Karen was kind enough to do that too.
Thanks, Karen.
Horse Lovers has been a sponsor of ours for about 8 years. They've been around for a very long time, and they're kindly sponsoring. You know what Horse Lovers did? And I'm going to see if I don't think I can do this. I don't know. Nope, I can't do that. Okay, I was trying to do something with the video here. But Horse Lovers is sending a box, I don't even know what's in it, to every one of the farm hosts along the way, like 12 of them. They're sending boxes, and they made these labels up that said, do not open till we get there. So there's going to be an unboxing at every stop.
That's
so
awesome.
You guys that are farm hosts have boxes coming to you, and we have little goodies we're bringing along. Everybody that comes to the meetups will get the special stickers that we had made and a couple of the other things that we have for giveaways that sponsors sent. Equity, of course, Shake and Fork and Flex and Fork. We still have our Shake and Fork from 10 years ago that we're bringing along on this trip so people can try it out. That's the one that vibrates. And, of course, our Flex and Fork is 6 years old, and people don't believe us that we have 6-year-old manure forks, but they just don't break.
We're taking along pitchforks.
Pitchforks.
Yeah.
You'll get to try them out. So that should be fun. And then Uncle Jimmy's. And, as most of our listeners know, we lost Uncle Jimmy about a month ago or a couple of weeks ago. But they still sponsored the trip, and thank you to Uncle Jimmy's for that. They sent along a whole bunch of goodies and treats that we have for your horses along the way. So we're going to be giving away treats along the way, and we're going to stop and visit Uncle Jimmy's and hopefully do a show there as well, to their warehouse in Pennsylvania. We're very, very sad that we don't get to see Uncle Jimmy because, as Helena knows, Uncle Jimmy is, let me take this banner down now. He was larger than life. I mean, Uncle Jimmy was a force, and he just was so much fun to hang out with. And we're really going to miss Uncle Jimmy on this trip.
He was a big guy with a big heart.
Oh,
yes.
and a bigger personality.
Yes.
I mean, he just, it's funny. People say that about me, but when Uncle Jimmy was in the room, nobody knew I was in the room because Uncle Jimmy was.
He was quite the presence.
He's quite the presence.
Yeah.
And we're going to miss you, Uncle Jimmy. We really are. We're going to do a toast to Uncle Jimmy at every meetup along this trip because he deserves it. But so that's thanks to the sponsors for what they are doing and for what they're providing. And you guys can all follow along on Horses in the Morning. We'll be putting out our regular episodes, and I think there'll probably be an occasional special short episode thrown into that feed when things happen. Our motto for this is, it's either going to be, do you remember the motto?
Yes, it's either going to be fun, or it's going to be disaster, or it's going to be disastrously fun.
I vote for number 3.
Everybody's voting for number 3 except for us. So all the listeners are voting for number 3.
Hey, it wouldn't be an adventure if there was no risk involved.
That's right.
Otherwise, it would just be a trip, a road trip.
That's true. So I'm sure all of that's going to happen. RVs are known to break. And I've learned that already in our time. And we have enjoyed our RV. It's nice. We have a huge banner. You guys have probably seen the billboard we had put on the back of the RV. So we'll be advertising to thousands of people along the highway.
That just means if we cut someone off while driving down the interstate, they're going to know how to find us.
That's right.
So drive carefully, please.
Jennifer's thinking like an Italian. Just keep it down here. Don't answer any questions.
Right.
Call your lawyer.
Call your lawyer.
Okay, so are there, of the listeners who have been kind enough to host you, anything that's outside of your experience level? Like, you guys have pretty much experienced everything, but is there any particular stop along the way that you're really intrigued by because it's just something a place you've never been, or horses you've not really been exposed to? Something like that.
I'm trying to think. I don't know yet.
Okay.
We actually know very little. For folks who wanted to host us to do overnights for mooch, what do they call it?
Mooch docking.
Mooch docking. Our mooch dockers. We sent them a little questionnaire so that we knew it would be safe and appropriate to park an RV there.
Okay.
But we didn't ask any questions beyond that, so we really don't know. Maybe we should have asked.
No.
And we wanted
That's
to be
the
a surprise.
adventure
We did a test week. We did do a test week where we went to Aiken and Southern Pines and had a stop in Georgia at one of our listeners. And it all went terrifically. And of course, everybody was so excited to see us and fed us and fed us and fed us. We're going to gain 50 pounds on this trip.
Yeah.
And it would, we learned a lot. We learned things that we should do and shouldn't do. And that one particular lane that we shouldn't have gone down because we probably almost destroyed the camper.
Thanks, Kitty.
So we've learned things that we have to check out ahead of time. I think our biggest issue is going to be internet on the trip. As you know, it's always finding internet's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Because everybody lives in the middle of nowhere with no good internet. So
we're concerned about good pasture, not good internet.
yeah.
This is true. Well, you'll have to, it's going to be difficult because it's like real life living now. We have to disconnect from our 100% 24/7 connection, right? And live life a little bit. And then you find internet and you can upload all your living.
Well, you'll love this. The one show we did, Horses in the Morning, we're still doing that on the road. And when we were in Southern Pines, they had no internet at all out where we were
They
staying.
communicate by smoke signal.
Yeah, they had no cell phone, no internet, nothing. So it's 4 miles out of town.
They're happy.
They were 4 miles out of town. They had nothing. So we actually went in and drove around till we found a cell tower. And we parked in a Best Buy parking lot underneath the cell tower. And I did the show with a listener in the front seat from the truck for 2 hours with the truck running. And we did the show from the truck.
That's how a lot of podcasters do it.
That's so Glenn parked in the giant shopping mall parking lot, found a tree, thank goodness, to park under. So he had a little shade. But the parking spot faced the main thoroughfare through town. So it was a surface street, but it was a 6-lane wide surface street. Tons of traffic.
Okay.
All I could think of is, what were those morning commuters thinking? Big black pickup truck, 2 people sitting in the front seat with microphones and headphones on. What were they thinking that he and his listeners
They were thinking
doing?
those are YouTubers.
What are they doing? Is this an FBI stakeout? Is this
That's what I would
Homeland
think.
Security?
By the way, Jennifer went shopping.
Yeah. I went to Dick's Sporting Goods. Thank you very much.
What'd you
Wasn't
get at
room for
Dick's?
3 people in the truck.
What do horse people get at Dick's Sporting Goods?
I bought a dry bag. You know what a dry bag is?
No.
No?
Oh, yes.
Hikers use them to keep things dry. And they come in 1,000,001 different sizes. It's basically a tube-shaped bag that's designed to be waterproof. So it keeps water in. It also keeps water out. And if you get one that's about a 6-inch diameter, they make great hoof-soaking containers.
Get out.
Ha!
Ah.
So that's what I did. I bought a dry
So
bag.
yes, she did find something horsey at Dick's Sporting Goods.
I love that. That's a hack. That's a hack worthy of
And I'm using it right now, too.
this trip. Oh, all right, we won't go there. Do you know, I want you guys to know that Jennifer and I were having a very interesting conversation before this episode started, and Glenn had to cut us off. He put us on mute.
That's true. That's
put
true.
us on
All right,
mute.
let's wrap this thing up. We got a packing to do. By the way, ask Jennifer what my hardest part of traveling anywhere is.
Jennifer, what's the hardest part about traveling with Glenn?
Just can't do it.
Packing his clothes.
I hate packing my clothes. I just don't know what to take.
Glenn likes, have you ever watched that TV show, What Not to Wear?
Yes.
And invariably, the victim puts on their regular clothes that the 2 fashion stylist people hate. And the first words out of their mouth are, but it's comfortable, right? So Glenn, Princess and the Pea, everything he wants to pack looks frumpy because it's comfortable. I'm like, oh my God, Glenn, just take some clothes and put them on the bed.
Jennifer starts packing about 4 weeks ahead and then goes through it several times until she edits and edits and edits until she gets it down to where she wants it. I go through and I whine and complain the whole time, just throwing crap on the bed.
Anything.
I'm just throwing crap on the bed. So I hate the packing part. I really do. We're packing for like a week. We're going for 5 weeks. And, we do have a 24-foot camper, but there's still limited space and weight that you can take. So we're bringing about a week's worth of clothes. I'm just going to have to do it that way.
Just keep recycling it, right?
And just remember, if there's something that you really, really, really need, go buy it when you're out there.
Yeah, we have stores. There are stores.
There are stores.
Yeah, you're not going to like the Arctic.
Rhonda says we are sisters from another mother on the packing thing. I remember Rhonda goes on cruises. She packs weeks ahead too. What is it with? Do you pack weeks ahead? I bet you're like me.
Me?
Alina. Yeah.
No. Well, I'm kind of like Jennifer. I pull everything out and then I put it in a pile and I go, this is what I really want. This is what I really want. And then I edit because I can, I have a tendency to overpack. However, my husband will pack for 12 people going on a 12-month vacation. Like, what are you doing?
And then
that way we don't have to decide until we get there.
He's like, he wears the same 3 things that he would have. Why did you pack it if you're not going to wear it? But it's nice looking and I never use it, so I should bring it along. And then he never wears it.
I never use it, so I should bring it along now because this might be my one chance to use it.
That's true. That is true. And I'm with him. I think that you should just pack everything and decide there because I can't decide ahead of time.
And the decision will be,
it's so
I'm going to wear the same thing I wore last time.
Isn't it funny, Helena? We make decisions all day long about our businesses. I can't decide which shirt to bring.
Well, because it's the unknown too. You don't know what it's going to be like. Is it going to be hot? Am I going to be comfortable? Am I going to be going out to dinner with people? What you need to do is you need to shop for clothes that answer all of those questions. When it comes time for packing, you have pre-built answers. Like you just go, all right, I got 3 shirts and this is good for comfort and this is good for
So Helena said I should go shopping is what she said.
Yeah.
Thanks, Helena.
Sorry.
So
if you go shopping, you have to purge. So whatever
that's the
if you buy
that's the part. Helena, you're breaking up. We can't hear you, Helena. You're breaking up.
Is this a WTF show? Because I got a couple of TFs.
He never throws away clothes.
I threw away 2 shirts this morning and it just about killed me. So all right, this is enough of this nonsense. We do have packing to do. So thank you, Helena, for having us. But now you're doing something new too. Let's talk about that real quick.
I am. There are folks knocking on my door for business advice because many of you guys know that I had a long career in the corporate world before I decided to focus just on horse people. And so I've been helping business owners, equine business owners, ease some of the overwhelming feelings that they have from running their business. So we have new from stall and stable, from barn to business, consulting, coaching, business products like financial templates and business plan guides and all of that, just to make the business owner's life a little bit easier and they can focus on what they do best, which is working with horses.
And what a lot of people don't know is you actually had real corporate jobs before we did this nonsense.
Yes. And a lot of it was in project management, product development, marketing, communications, even sales, but lots of planning and project management. So helping business owners, like give them the bird's eye view of what their business looks like and where they should be focusing. I point them in the right direction, and the things that they can't get to, either I can do it or we can set up tools to help them sort of run themselves. It's just taking the pressure off of running a small horse business.
And where can they find you for that?
Stallandstable.com, and you look for the business help link.
All right, stallandstable.com, look for the business help link. Isn't it hard to believe that people used to pay us to make important, like tens of thousands of dollars worth of decisions as a real job, and I can't decide what shirt to bring on a trip?
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I know. And I can't decide what shirt to bring on a trip.
I know. I'm like, this is my budget. I have a $250,000 budget to sell a $6 million project. I'm good. I'm 32 years old. I'm good. I can handle this.
I thought by 60 I'd feel like an adult, but I still don't. I don't.
No. Well, when you give somebody a piece of advice, like which happens to me casually, and then they come back a month later and they're like, I did that thing you told me, and this is what happened. I'm like, oh, gee, maybe I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's scary, isn't it? Yeah.
It's fun. It's
Jennifer
really
said something the other day, and I think you apply to this too. She told me, she said, you will have imposter syndrome to the day you die. And I think Helene and I are the same that way.
That's a key indicator of ADHD. Imposter syndrome is a tough
Is it really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we have these supercomputers for brains. Right. And so
that's where I'm lucky. I have an abacus.
She has a
makes my life easier.
She's an original Mac.
She really is. This is why Jennifer and I worked so well together. She'd be like, you go over there and you do your supercomputing, bouncing off the wall, sing. And I'm just going to do my Zen over here. And it was like the perfect yin and yang balance of energy. I miss that.
That must be why we get along too. We're going to find out after 5 weeks in a 24-foot camper together. All right, everybody.
Which one will fly home?
Thank you for joining us. Go to horseradionetwork.com. Click on the Roadshow banner. We want to see you at a meetup. There's free food at almost all of them. So come out or have dinner with us or picnic or whatever we're doing. Go on a trail ride with us. Definitely join us from home for the concert. You can do that from anywhere in the world. We would love to see you, and we would love to have your support also for Colby's Army. Lisa does a really good work down there. And we're going to tour that too and bringing you a video from her place. So we definitely want to have you all along on this adventure one way or another, by video, by Horses in the Morning, by podcast, or whatever way we can do it. And thank you, Jennifer, for agreeing to do this. I really appreciate it. We'll see if there's a second trip.
Happy trails.
Thank you,
guys.
Helena. Stallandstable.com, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the road.
All right. Bye, everybody.